My name's Reggie Tuppins. I'm Upper Mattaponi, and I'm the tribal administrator for Upper Mattaponi, if you don't know me. I appreciate everybody being out here today, and all the hard work of the RTOC people who put it together. So, this is a site thought to be where, when John Smith was captured, he was brought to Powhatan here. From the archaeology that they've done and other research, it's been the seat of power in the area for a long time. So over hundreds of years, thousands of years, it has been used as a seat of power. Our communities have worked together over the years, churches, homecoming, and so on. And hopefully this is a continuation of getting together, working on projects to protect our sovereignty, to protect our sites, and protect our people. I guess the significance for the day for me is, to my knowledge, this is the first tribal event that we've held here that was not organized by an outside entity or by a government agency. This is us coming together on our site, doing something together to protect our site.
We are a school of marine science. We actually specialize in coastal areas, so we do a lot of nearshore, a lot of York River, Chesapeake Bay science, as well as Antarctic science and all around the globe.
So we try to help people find the least environmentally harmful methods of stabilizing their shoreline erosion, but while also not having too much adverse harm on the environment. And the current practices that we advocate are nature-based practices called living shorelines. And that's what you'll see when you go down here on the shoreline. There are rock structures that are placed offshore, and a marsh was planted between the land and the rocks. And it's that combination of rocks and the wide marsh that helps protect the bank from erosion. And as you can imagine, on a site like this, there were a lot of important artifacts and relics that were eroding out of this bank that are now protected from that type of active erosion. And there's a marsh, there's a tidal marsh that's just like the natural marshes that occur on the two sides of the property. Research that Donna's group has done has compared these planted marshes with natural marshes and have found very little difference between them as long as they're nice and wide and when there's natural marshes nearby.
And really good news, within just a couple of years of planting a project like this, the marsh fish returned. So we're seeing very positive habitat benefits from these structures. And then of course there is the issue of plastic pollution that we're now learning more and more is problematic. So I'm excited to see what we pick up on the beach today. Thank you for having us here. Into the marsh. This would be from there.
Wero itself means and Comoco together means a place of high kings in our language. So through the archaeology that's been done here, we can conclude that this has been the seat of power for hundreds, if not thousands of years. It's deeply sacred to us. We know that ceremonies have been performed here for thousands and thousands of years. We we did everything here, and this is where the descendants of our people, of our modern people today, lived and did all those good things. All the decisions made here impacted all of the coastal Virginia tribes. I mean, from at one point in time, the southernmost tip of Maryland to the northernmost tip of the Outer Banks, and there were 30-some tribes under the rule of Wahoo and Seneca in 1607. So it's just something to sort of imagine that, this isn't just a sacred site. This isn't just it is a sacred site, but it isn't just a place where one historical event happened. This isn't just any other village site like we have in our own home territories, but this is a place that impacted all of that, and it reflects in the deep sacred nature of the site. So what we're going to do is do a quick little walking tour of one side of the property, talk about the landscape, talk about how the property is situated, how it's in between the two creeks. Going to sort of go over and sort of use our imagination to see and visualize what the site would have looked like when our people were here. So where we are right now is the residential area, the real village site of Werowocomoco. So the fields right here going from just about the bluff over on Lee Creek over here all the way as far as you can see. This was filled with longhouses. This was where the residents of this site lived. This was the main inhabitants here. So when they did archaeology here in the front yard, they were just amazed when they found that it was sites on sites. There was structures everywhere, all through different time periods. Many of our people, or many of the tributary tribes, are not too far of a paddle upriver or downriver each way. Other piece of the landscape here, obviously that house right over there. So the Ripleys moved here in the late 90s. They purchased the property, and just that original brick section right there, that was the only thing standing. So the Ripleys turned the property over to the state in 2012, and it was protected by the state of Virginia through conservation easement and a couple of different things. And the National Park Service acquired it in 2016. And right now it's currently owned by the Captain John Smith Chesapeake National Historic Trail and managed by Colonial National Historical Park. And they're the ones that host the internships and then take care of upkeep of the site. And hopefully in the future we can work towards a true co-management where the tribes have an equal say and an equal part in everything that goes on here. And that's something the Park Service is looking forward to going to.
All right, we are now at the Lee Creek side of the property. Like Connor said, Werowocomoco is a very significant place. When I bring a lot of the MPS guys out here and they really don't understand the importance of it, I use the analogy, Werowocomoco to us Virginia natives can be compared to Washington, D.C. to the United States. So when you look at the property and you look at the water that surrounds it, it almost makes like a thumb, like a little peninsula. So we have Lee Creek, we have Puritan Bay that connects to the York River, and on the other side of the property we have Bland Creek. This was a great defensive position. So it does cut back deeper into the property. But as you can see, as us Virginia natives, how much we relied on the water. A lot of the rivers in Virginia are named after us. That's how much we call it tributary tribes, and we would call that for a reason. From our dugout canoes, how much we relied on the oysters and the natural resources that came from the water, and how much that involved in had so much importance in our subsistence. So when we look at these creeks, we always reminded how much they gave back to us.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ashley Atkins-Spivey. I'm a member of the Pamunkey Indian tribe, and I have a PhD in archaeology. And I actually got my start in archaeology here at Werowocomoco in 2005 as a student. It was my experience here that really helped me make the decision to pursue archaeology as a career and really as a tool to help us tell our stories. For me, that's what archaeology is all about. When it's done with engagement with Native communities and by Native people, it can be a tool for us to learn more about our histories and about our stories. What do we want to learn about this place? What kind of questions do we have about our histories, our cultures, right? That drove the research here. Our representation is going to help define how that material is handled and how it's treated. And so for me, that's one of the most important aspects of the research. The research itself is invaluable, but the process of doing that research in the right way is also invaluable because it sets a model for how things should be done in the state of Virginia with our communities and with our people.
Earth Day is the opportunity to come together with other people to go ahead and praise the earth and all the gifts that we get from it.
Cleaning up trash.
Now it's hot.
Earth Day means to me, a dedicated space and time for us to focus on the importance of our environment, of Mother Earth, of nature, and to remind ourselves of our role within that and that we should respect it.
I'm actually part of the Rappahannock tribe with Steve Nelson and Woody, and we're just here to help make the world better and make the earth cleaner and enjoy. It's wonderful to be here.
People need to get together and they might become friends, and also it's for providing more trees and healthy air and cleaning up the river and on the ground and stop chopping down trees for the environment.